So how much did it cost to build the Armoire? Welcome back to my shop and the channel. I have my notes and my coffee, and this is going to be that video about what it cost to build Mara's Armoire, which is just about to go upstairs. I have a spreadsheet that gives me the price of things. Now, some of the things I just lumped into one category. I didn't itemize everything. And it's my notes so I can keep up with each other. Quick story, years ago I belonged to the Society of American Period Furniture Makers for a while. I read a story about a gentleman in there who, that was a member, that many years ago when he was young and his wife were just married, they couldn't afford furniture, so he basically bought tools and started making furniture and taught himself. Flash forward to after his retirement, he won the Cartouche Award, which is the #1 top award you can win from those guys, doing period furniture. His stuff was beautiful. But let's digress a little bit. How many times have you heard the story, I can build that cheaper? Or I can learn to I can do woodworking, buy some tools and build that? We sometimes know how that works out. So let's begin. Let's start with the cherry. The cherry came from C.P. Johnson Lumber Company in Culpeper, Virginia. I bought 5 pieces, averaging 10 to 11 inches wide, 10 feet long, 4/4 thick, rough sawn. That all came to $369.54. Now let me explain that a little bit. So the price was about $5.45 a board foot. I know this number is not going to add up right just right now. The first load I planed myself, and you can see here why I asked them to plane it. The second load, the first load was 2 pieces, and all those chips came from 2 pieces. So I had them plane the second load, which was 3 boards. And they charged 45 cents per board foot to do the planing, and I also had them to joint one edge, which cost a little extra money. That including the Virginia state sales tax, $369. Cheap plywood. Well, that's kind of a misnomer because plywood really isn't cheap. But 3/4 inch plywood I bought came to $192, which was for this. That's all the dividers and webs for the cabinet. And that was from all this is stuff from all the plywood was from the local big box stores. The 1/2 inch plywood, which was for the shelves inside the center cabinet, was 1 sheet, and that came to $42 and change. I bought 1/4 inch plywood, and that was for the bottom of the drawers, and that was, I think, 2 sheets or 3 sheets of that, and that came to $96 and change. The beadboard for the back of the center cabinet, I just wanted to have that little detail of the beadboard, came to $12.36. That was a 1/2 sheet. 1/4 inch luan is what I bought for the backing that surrounds the beadboard on the back of the center section, and that was the cheap luan, and that was $34.79 for 1 sheet, and I call the parts out of that. And that's never going to be seen by anybody unless they pull us away from the wall and look at it. Okay, the secondary woods in the drawers was pine. So I bought the pine and milled it down to 1/2 inch for the secondary woods for the drawers. Buying 1/2 inch pine, the sizes I needed, would be hella expensive. So I did it myself, and that came to $176 and some change. So that's the wood. Let's talk about the hardware now. So the brass hardware for the drawers, and that includes all the bits and pieces and the screws and everything, from Horton Brasses. Now, Horton Brasses and their counterpart Ball and Ball are the top of the food chain for brass hardware for period furniture. And it ain't cheap. So Mara wanted to get Horton Brasses, which we did. And the Horton Brass hardware for just the drawers came to $277 and some change. The hinges also came from Horton Brasses. I bought those. There's only 4 of them. It's a 2-pack. There's 2 in each pack. with the hardware, and that came to $74 and change. The drawer slides. Okay, so I originally wanted to use under drawer slides, and that was going to come to about $425. Yeah, $425 for 14 drawers. So I went with the side mounts, inexpensive ones from Amazon, and they came to $157. There'll be links in the description for all this. Mara wanted to buy the bun feet instead of turning them, because we'd have to buy big chunks of cherry and glue them up, or buy solid chunks of cherry and turn them either way and turn them. The bun feet came to $181 and some change. Now the finishing, that's again, it's all lumped into one. I bought 2 cans of the amber shellac, a can of spar varnish, which I didn't use actually. I wound up using the Watco wipe-on polyurethane, and that came to $105 for all of that stuff. Now, because I didn't use the spar varnish, it's over there on the rack. I'll use it eventually. I did not pay attention to my labor. I did not keep track of the hours that I worked on this to build it. Now, you know what I mean? Do I keep track of hours? Mara recommended I get one of those little timekeeper, little small company timekeeper things, which you can come in and do the card, whatever. So if I ever build something for somebody, I can keep accurate track of the time that I put into the project. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea in woodworking, you know, doing that so as opposed to doing a flat rate for that particular project, materials plus or whatever. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And the grand total is $1,720.51. Yeah, $1,720 without labor. So when somebody wants me to build something like that for them, I'll say, here, take a look at this. This is what it cost. Now, we could have saved on a few places. We could have saved on the hardware, of course. There are other manufacturers of period hardware that come in, and they're solid brass, mind you, and they come in at a lot lower price break. The hinges as well. I mean, you can get solid brass hinges from other manufacturers for less money. Drawer slides, not so much. Wood, not so much. Until plywood prices come down, we're kind of stuck with where we are. If you're going to use solid wood like cherry, maple, whatever, you're going to pay the price for it per board foot. There's no getting away from that unless you're cutting trees out in your backyard, like some woodworkers we see on YouTube. Anyhow, that's it, gang. That's what it cost. The next project is going to be something like this. And what this is a flat top 18th century chest of drawers with OG feet. And that's going to be my new bureau for me. So we'll have all cherry in the bedroom at this point. The bed, Mars, Armoire, and the one I'm going to build eventually. But before that, I have some smaller projects that I want to work on in the shop. So, now you know. Was it worth it? Oh, hell yeah, it's worth it. Give me a break. It's absolutely worth it. Was it fun? Yeah, it was fun. Were there frustrations? Isn't there always? But that's part of the learning process. So until next time, make great things out of wood and don't keep track of what you spend. Cheers.